Let's talk NFC quarterbacks. It's about to be my favorite conversation of the day. Lions defensive back Jerry Jacobs, he said his guy Jared Goff is in the top 5 in the conference. But did he make my top 5? Going to give you the list. Number 1, it is very easy, and I hope to see nobody dispute it. Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Jalen Hurts, he's got to be the most talented quarterback in the NFC. At number 2, this is where I have Dak Prescott. I get it. How in the world is Dak Prescott at number 2? I will explain. Dak Prescott is consistently good. If he starts the entirety of the season, he does not have a losing season. He has commanded multiple number 1 offenses. He's had number 1 offenses that are top 10 in passing and top 10 in rushing. I have to respect the consistency of number 4. At number 3, I have to respect the Super Bowl ring of Matthew Stafford. Why isn't Stafford ahead of Dak? Well, number 1, he had a concussion last season, y'all, and he tried to return from the concussion, but then was put back in concussion protocol. I'm paying attention to that. Also, out of a plausible 34 opportunities to win games in the regular season, Matthew Stafford has only won 15 regular season games in Los Angeles. I get he won a Super Bowl. I'm respecting the Super Bowl. That's why he's at 3. At number 4, Jared Goff. Jared Goff balled out last year with the Detroit Lions. I expect much more of the same. Furthermore, when you think about the quarterbacks behind me and their receiving cores, you can think of the superstar names: Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown. When you think about Jared Goff, he doesn't have no first-team All-Pro out there catching passes from him. And lastly, at number 5, Geno Smith. What Geno Smith did with the Seahawks last year, what he did with his completion percentage at and above 68%, how he got the Seahawks to the playoffs when everybody thought they were rebuilding and tanking, absolutely phenomenal. That's my top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC. Hurts, Prescott, Stafford, Goff, Geno Smith, heading to the desk because we got to catch up with everybody else. The producers have told me I'm going to hear some craziness from some lists, but Shady, what is yours? Where you at with your you can't cheat. You can't cheat. Why you glaring and slick? I'm asking your list.
My top 5 will be Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff.
You got Dak after Kirk. You got to break this down for you.
I mean, they're like the same. I think they're the same guy. I mean, one guy's a little darker than the other one. Same guy to me. Or is there a difference?
Okay, break this down. Stafford at 2, all because of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but first of all, let's not act like he's not one of the most talented quarterbacks on his side. Matthew Stafford.
Not tripping.
Okay,
about to say, famine though, right?
Talented, and he went out there and won a championship. The Rams come win nothing. They go out there, they get Matthew Stafford in the first year, he bring a chip back home. I don't care if he got hurt the next year after that or whatever, but when you bring a chip home to a city, to a team, to a franchise, that matters. Unless you want me to go with the guy that doesn't do that.
How is he not?
It's up to you.
Well, no,
it's up to you, guys. It's up to you.
Yeah. It's up to me. Joy, it is up to you. Your top 5. Where you at?
This is hurting my soul. Obviously, Jalen's the best.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say that he's not.
Except Shady's just big.
No, Jalen is the best in the NFC.
He's number 1.
He's number 1.
You know that.
Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, if you want to swap Dak out for Kirk Cousins, I'm fine with that also. Derek Carr. And Jared Goff. You can argue amongst yourselves after 2. Really, it's not going to hurt my feelings either way. I have Cousins at 6, Daniel Jones at 7, Bryce Young at 8.
Derek Carr.
You get extra credit.
I like Derek Carr.
I think Derek's going to do well.
I think
they're going to win the division.
I want to put him in there.
I wanted to put, just out of respect for Derek Carr, I wanted to put him there, but my soul just wouldn't allow me to do it.
How does Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl, what was it, 5 years ago? Was it 6 years ago? Was it
Stafford?
2 years ago? 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Pretty big deal.
Matt Stafford, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So he had one season in which he was concussed and was injured, and now we're going to he falls off. He falls off.
Nah, he didn't fall off. I like consistency.
And he got an arm, too.
I like consistency out of my QBs. Stafford, just for me, is just inconsistent. Even the year he won the Super Bowl.
I mean, but you think Dak is better than Matthew Stafford?
Dak's just so much more consistent.
What about all the years that Matthew Stafford was doing all that he was doing before he came to the Rams?
Losing and picks.
What's Dak doing?
Not losing. Dak don't lose. He doesn't have losing seasons.
He just loses.
He also has.
He just loses the games that matter.
Than what Matt Stafford had.
I think I probably got armpits
But this is what I don't understand. Like, you guys are all. This hurts my soul.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Jalen Hurts. We are putting him at the top.
Yes.
So who should be then?
Matt Stafford should be number one without question.
Well, based on their logic, I won't argue.
Because what I heard from you, Acho, was that, well, I can't trust him because he's had a concussion. But we just got out of a segment where you're telling me that Tua could lead the freaking Miami Dolphins to a Super Bowl. So if a guy can come back from a concussion, why can't Matthew Stafford? If I look at Stafford's year in 21, it was better than Jalen Hurts' year last year.
Okay, but Jalen was all-pro last year.
Oh, okay, but I'm just talking about performance and accomplishment.
You're
on
to
to
something.
The guy
You're on to something.
Who was able to close the deal, who had to go through Tom Brady and had to go through Joe Burrow.
Goff at 3?
Wait, you have a problem with that? You got off of the Matt Stafford argument awfully quickly.
No. I actually love your Matt Stafford argument. Okay. Because I think your argument is actually right.
Yeah, come on over to the Rams side.
No, what I'm
I
saying
knew it would happen eventually. I knew I would get y'all eventually.
What I'm saying is,
Nation.
if they're putting Stafford, if they're putting Stafford at 2 because he's won a Super Bowl, then you actually have to put Stafford at 1.
Where'd you put Stafford at?
He's at 3.
Stafford's at 3 on yours?
Yeah. But
so how you have Matthew Stafford at 3, but you have the Seahawks winning the division?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
I think the Rams roster is atrocious. Bad.
But don't they have the best receiver in the division?
The best receiver.
And they have the best quarterback, and they have the best defensive lineman.
No doubt about it.
They have the best coach in the division.
Yes, and all those 4 pieces out of 22.
So all those 9 wins from the Seahawks last year.
Yeah, I mean,
come on over. You know you want to do it.
I think the Rams are going to win like 6 games this year. I think they'll tap, but.
Wow.
What's your issue with Jared Goff at 3? He's been to a Super Bowl.
My issue is, respectfully, a lot of guys have been to a Super Bowl.
A lot of guys on this. Not a lot of guys on this list.
Jared Goff gave us that last season. How much stock do we buy into it? Like, I really was using.
Detroit?
My list was excellent.
He could have been a Pro Bowler this year.
I think he was. Was he not last year? I think Jared Goff made the Pro Bowl. I think Jared Goff, Geno Smith, last year. My list was really based on equity. I put Jalen Hurts at number 1 because I didn't want Shady to come over my head with a speak mug. So I put him at number 1 just to kind of duck and cover. But truthfully, outside of that, that's why I had Dak at 2, is because Dak is actually never bad. Like, never bad. It is crazy how never bad Dak is.
Don't say he's never was bad. Don't say that.
He never has been bad.
That's not true, though.
He
was bad last year. He was real bad.
Season.
Hold on. You can't say he was never bad.
They won 12 last year, Shady. 12.
He was good last year?
Yeah.
The Cowboys were good.
When Dak was there, that offense was number 1.
Hold up. If you lead the league in picks, right? Play less games than any other quarterback.
Sure, Matthew Stafford.
How's that a... Hold on. This is one person at a time.
Go ahead. So
if you lead the league in picks, you lead the league in pick sixes, how is that a good year? I'm tripping.
You are tripping because your list has Matthew Stafford at number 2, and he led the league in picks the year they won the Super Bowl, and he led the league in picks.
Wait, what did he do? What did he do at the end, though? What did he do at the end?
The Super Bowl.
That was not a good year.
But what did he do at the end?
He won the Super Bowl.
That's a good year.
What did Dak do at the end? What did Dak do?
He lost the game for him.
He absolutely did.
How do you have 15 turnovers, though, bro, in only 12 games?
That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
What are we talking about? So don't lie to me and don't lie to America.
I'm not lying to the people.
You told him that he had a good year last year.
He did. Shady, the Cowboys' offense was number 1 when Dak Prescott was on the field.
I can't see.
You know how many 40-point games
you know what's
they
the
had?
sad part is? This is the reason why a lot of Dallas fans, a lot of people out there, they support Dak. Because it's guys like you that's not keeping it 1,000. If you said that, majority of the time Dak is consistent, plays well.
Yes.
I would say, you know what, that's some part true. Right. But when you said that he never plays bad.
In a season.
He had a bad year last year. And I'm not going to let nobody else tell me different.
He didn't have a bad year. He threw a lot of picks. But if your offense is still number 1, it's not a bad year. It is not a great year.
How's that a good thing, though? If I lead the league in fumbles,
so let me ask you
a
this.
good year?
It's like, Shady, all I ever heard of my whole life in football is one thing.
What's the one thing?
My whole life. Any coach. I could just play a coach on TV. Remember this. Take care of the football.
Take care of the ball. Here's what I'm saying, though.
That's the main thing.
But here's what I can't let y'all do because y'all's logic is flawed. At the point in which the playoffs started in 2021, the 2021 season, nobody would have said Matthew Stafford had a bad year. He had 41 touchdowns. He had 17 interceptions. I get, at the point in which the playoffs started, you wouldn't have said he had a bad year.
But we have the evidence of the postseason.
Agreed.
We can't play this game, bro.
It made his year.
Let's play what you did.
It made his year better.
It made all the year. No, of the year, he made the whole team better. They couldn't do that. They bring him, they go straight
Did Cooper
there.
Kupp take a step? Did OBJ recover his career by going there?
Yeah.
And was Matthew Stafford not coming in there starting fresh with a brand new team where I'm going to give him a little ramp to pick it up? The thing I've seen with Dak is as good as the talent around him.
That's true.
As the offensive line has fallen off, as the running game has fallen, like where everything else is determines how good Dak is. Matt Stafford was the difference for the Rams.
Matthew Stafford and Dak, because talent-wise, you agree they're not close, though, right?
Yes, agreed.
They're not even close talent-wise. Okay.
But here's my thing. What we cannot do on this show
I might do
is
it.
not act like Von Miller.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God, Von Miller? We're oh my God, a first ballot Hall of Famer? We're not going to act like Von Miller didn't show up?
No,
he was huge.
So
Von
he did.
Miller
Aaron
was
Donald
great.
did.
Let's establish
Aaron
the fact that, Aaron Donald was at least on the Super Bowl team in 2019 where they went and lost to the Patriots, 2018-2019 year.
Aaron Donald was great, too.
Von Miller was a new addition to that team.
Yes.
Leonard Floyd, a 10-sack guy, was on that team.
Right.
Odell Beckham was on that team. Matthew Stafford, he obviously helped as well. But I'm not just going to sit here and be like, it was all Stafford.
No.
Nobody
I'm not
said it
going
was
there.
all Stafford, but Stafford came there and won a Super Bowl at the most important position with a team that had gone to a Super Bowl
Come on now.
a few years before that.
And at what point have you said Dak Prescott carried the Dallas Cowboys to this victory in a meaningful one?
Well, they don't go to NFC Championship games, so we can't talk about it.
That's the whole for me, is Dak has been good. You're right. And this is why we get into this argument, and this is why Cowboys fans hate when people hate on Dak, because they're like, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. And you know this as well as anybody. Like, translate the numbers into what they mean as far as the success of the team in important situations.
Pick six. Pick six. Lose the game. Oh, he dropped the pick. Lose the game. That's Dak Prescott in the playoffs. Am I tripping?
Sounds like
You're not tripping.
It should be a song. Pick.
Honestly, it sounds like a video.
Pick six.
Lose the game.
Pick six.
This is one time.
Finish it.
Emmy, this is one time. Everybody's going left. You gotta come with us. You gotta come with us.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.